This would be his third.
This would be his third, yeah.
This would be my third, yeah.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. So he's been on Dos Equis.
I've been practicing my Espanol.
Espanol. What?
Give him a little bit of Japanese, yo.
I thought I was about to go in Spanish.
Wait, you know Japanese?
We ain't ready. We ain't ready for that.
I was hit some azul, little arrows. Like, let's go in.
Azul.
Whatever that is.
Wait, what? Hold on, wait. Omicron, Delta, freaking.
You on an airplane or something?
I could
Southwest,
I could
Frontier.
do beta. I could do alpha,
Fucking
beta,
Spirit.
omega, all of them. I'll
the
take them
alpha
all
and the
on,
omega.
you know. But no, for real.
Let me get serious for a second.
I was like, hey, you know, I go kayaking pretty often. Like, I got it. You know, Kobe and I got it. Like, it's not that bad.
To be fair, I did warn him I was trash.
Well, like, our idea was like, all right, Trado said he's done this before. He knows what he's doing. So let's put him with Kobe, who has the least amount of confidence in himself.
Justified.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then, like, Mike and I will go because we're in the middle. So it's basically we'll do the second and third seed together and the first and fourth seed because that should even out. And then Mike and I were fine.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We were balling out.
I'm like a 7 seat out of like 4 people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another episode, Trader Without Radio. You already know how it goes. We got Renee in the squeaky chair.
Squeaky as fuck.
We got squeaky as fuck. We got me in not my regular seat. We got Jose riding co-pilot. That means he's in charge of the music. Then we got Kobe back from another fucking...
back from the grave.
Back from the grave.
I died?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I accept it.
Headphones or not, he's back, all right?
Yeah, so we originally planned to have only 3 people on at a time, but we have 4, so we only had 3 headphones. So Kobe doesn't have headphones again.
Yeah.
I didn't have one last time, so it was cool.
Put it down in the comments on why he didn't.
Donate $1 to get Kobe's headphones.
And we can get him headphones.
And honestly, we could get like a pretty decent...
honestly, if everyone listening donates $1, we could get him like $200 headphones.
Honestly, yeah. That's pretty legit.
We could play that like sad piano music
When
they
the
play for the
in
puppies.
in SpongeBob where
The Mr. Krabs?
Yeah.
The world's smallest violin. Dun, dun, dun.
We could play some of that.
No, but welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for joining us on such a late notice.
Literally late.
I mean, for them, it's not even late. For them, it's normal.
For them, it's like fucking 8
Whenever
o'clock
you-
in the morning.
Whenever you listen to it.
Yeah, whenever the video goes live.
I wonder what time. Well, what time do you listen to the podcast? I mean, if you listen to the podcast.
I listen to it probably like an hour or 2 after it's up.
That's true.
Okay,
Because
so it's still
he'll
morning.
like post stuff in our group chat like as he's listening.
Yeah.
So like last time he was like, "Oh, you guys are talking shit about the Lakers," and before that he was like, "Oh, you guys were hungry as fuck." So he was like, as he was listening, I feel like he's always messaging, responding to what we're saying at the moment.
So this is my timeline, right? So I see the podcast and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll let it marinate for a little bit, you know. I'll let it breathe like a fine wine, you know. I'll let it breathe for a little bit.
Swivel on the glass.
Yeah, I'll let it swivel a little bit. I'll drink a little bit of water, relax, you know. Mainly
chill out.
Mainly, I'm at the gym, so I'll be at the gym. I'm like laser focused, and then I'm like, you know what? It'll distract me is listening to this podcast.
True.
And so I do, and then as I'm like mid set. I'm like laughing my ass off and I'm about to kill myself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
This last episode it was like, guys, I'm like over here like fucking benching and I'm about to die.
Yo,
I'm
should we be
laughing
more
my ass
aggressive
off.
to like get him hyped? Like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you bench that shit.
Yeah, you bench that shit. Yeah, 3 more reps. Here
Just
we go.
random moments, the map, like, hold on, pause. Jose, you got this.
You got this.
So that under the Trump administration, Jose, you fucking got this. And then just keep going.
I like how we're talking about politics all of a sudden.
I don't know. I just had something.
Make sure you listen to this one. Because
Yeah.
I probably
it's
won't.
for you.
I probably won't. I'll probably be like, oh, I'm in this one. I can't listen to myself too long.
Yo, there's been a couple times where Jose hit me up, random as fuck, like something we've mentioned in like the 45 minutes like into the podcast. And I'm like
deep
huh?
as fuck. Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you know, you mentioned this in the podcast. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
That is true.
When you talk in the podcast, though, you forget about shit that you're
Exactly.
talking about.
There's times where like I'll say something and like Jose was like, "Oh, fuck you!" Like you're talking shit about the Lakers. It's like I don't think we said anything that bad. And then like I'll finally listen to the episode again. I was like, "Oh yeah, we kind of went in on that."
Yeah. Damn.
I mean, you guys tend to, honestly. Like, you guys are, like, Lakers haters.
Yo, I'm
It's-
the biggest
it's fair.
Lakers fan
But,
in this
like,
room.
It's
But, like,
fair.
Well,
looking at it now, I mean, it's instant karma just based on, like, the recent events. As of this episode, recent events going into your guys' talk with the Bulls.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm pretty happy. And, like, because I'm a hateful and very spiteful person. So I'm like a very happy person because Renee is actually down pretty bad. The Bulls have lost by double digits the last two games.
But I thought the Bulls
and
were
the
3
Patriots just got blown the hell out of Buffalo.
Wait, so you live in Illinois?
yeah,
And
Illinois,
then
yes.
you,
Anyway, I like how you stopped that S at the end there. You were about to lose
it's like
all your
Barnes.
street cred.
It's like Barnes and Nobles. No, because
Barnes and
Illinois
Noble.
means I'm from Chicago.
Chicago.
Excuse me. Here in Naperville, we call it Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, I don't live here. So anyway, and then you hate
Out
on
here
Chicago
adding an S.
teams.
So I
You know the door's there.
well, okay. So I do support Chicago. I love the White Sox. I'm a diehard White Sox fan.
All right, well, this
This
episode's
guy-
over.
yeah,
Trade Without a Radio. We'll see you on the north side. You
can catch us
Jose,
at,
you can just go ahead.
As I'm probably the further north person
That's
Yeah,
true.
what
in
the fuck?
this
You might as well
podcast.
be a fucking Brewers fan.
Yeah.
I've been to the Brewers Stadium probably more than I've actually been to Wrigley.
Why are you here again?
Because
Brewers Stadium, way
because
better than
I'm actually good friends with some of these guys. I guess I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There you go. We keep him
That's
around.
true. We've had Jose on the episodes twice before today.
Twitter.
This
Twice.
would be his third.
This will be his third, yeah.
This
Yeah.
would be my third. Yeah.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. So he's been on Dos Equis.
I've been practicing my Espanol.
Espanol. What? So
Give
you
him
can
a
go
little
to,
bit give him a little bit of Japanese, yo.
I thought I was about to go in Spanish. but
Wait, you know Japanese?
We ain't
Yeah.
ready. We ain't ready for that.
I was hit some azul, little arrows. Like, let's go in.
Azul.
Whatever that is.
Wait, what?
That's
Hold
blue.
on, wait.
I thought he was talking Japanese. I was like, oh, okay. That sounds
Azul, bitch.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna order that.
It was so incoherent. He was like, "Oh, this is definitely Japanese." No, it's just botched Spanish.
Yeah, it's just botched.
You got it, though.
So we got a little bit of a different episode today. We originally had a plan, but there was supposed to be more people here. But since there's two, we said, fuck it. We'll just put both of them on at the same time.
But
That's why Jose has headphones and Kobe doesn't. Budget restrictions. So we got this website that just generates random topics. Originally, we were gonna talk with each person for like 10 minutes or so about the topic that generated. But since there's only two, we're gonna have them both on, and we're just gonna talk about the topic.
Yeah. So the rule is you have to know, or at least have to be able to back up what you think the topic is trying to cover. So you can't be pulling shit out of your ass. Like, we're talking about cats, like 9 lives. You can't.
Yeah, you can't just talk about dogs all of a sudden.
You know?
well, then what am I supposed to do? No, I'm kidding.
So I could go like Cats and Nine Lives and then go Tom and Jerry.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
All right.
It has to tie in. If not, you have to drink.
I feel like that wouldn't come up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm gonna hit the button here.
No.
Ooh, this one's interesting.
This is the first one.
This is the first one.
Oh, shit.
Cats.
All right. So,
Horrible
well,
movie.
I guess we'll go in order. Does anybody, before I say it, does anybody want to go first?
Sure. I'll
All
go
right,
first.
Jose will go first. What do you think of online education?
Okay. Instantly regret.
Discord.
No, I'm kidding. So I actually, I've seen both sides of this, right? So
Yeah.
I've actually taken a financial course online. That was terrible. But I've also been on the other end of trying to actually teach kids an online class. Yeah.
Oh.
So as a teacher or as an educator, I guess you would want to say, that was actually really easy on my end because it was mainly just uploading and then answering a lot of the most simple questions and then posting it all on the same time of like frequently asked questions sort of thing. But yet when I'm taking it, there's so many variables of the way that someone could actually think of it where it could go really wrong.
And I guess when you were doing that, what was like the age of the students?
So I was in charge of 10 to 12 year olds. So I had like 40 10 to 12 year olds.
So
That's a pretty
they were
solid-
like decently. They knew how like the internet worked. I
oh yeah,
guess.
no, they for sure were they understood how to like log in, how to do everything.
Because in my head, I think about like COVID times and like teachers, like first grade teachers, kindergarten grade teachers, they're like struggling to get their students to
pay attention.
Yeah,
at
to
least.
pay attention.
That's what I was thinking about too.
Yeah. So like in my mind, online education is stupid.
How early is it too early for a hybrid class?
I feel like they gotta know what's up. So like they gotta be at least like third grade, I guess.
Like responsible enough to check in and do their online
like,
work.
what the fuck are you doing with like a kindergartner? Like,
Well, you got Microsoft Paint.
No, not anymore. It's gone.
Is it really?
yeah, they took it off
Yeah.
of Microsoft,
Microsoft
Windows
Paint.
operating systems.
Mm-hmm. I do know a first grade teacher. She they make it work doing online education.
Yeah, but like it's
hybrid.
a struggle. Yeah.
I assume so. I haven't asked her too much detail about it, but
Actually, I was talking to this girl. She is still. She didn't stop.
She got
doing
fired.
it. Yeah.
Hey, if you're listening.
we're
If you're
online
listening,
now.
I'm sorry.
We're online now. Minimum wage.
Right.
Anyway.
No, she's a PE teacher for like sixth and seventh grade. And I was like, how does that even work? Like, how did you have PE like remote?
Yeah, how does that work?
I mean, it's like it's essentially like doing like all these Peloton stuff, you know,
Like a
Peloton
workout
yeah,
class?
you're essentially like FaceTiming, but like Peloton, they don't actually have like a video feed of like your face,
Right, like, it's
that
not,
would be
like,
terrifying because you're
active,
just
I
like
guess.
fucking sweating up a storm. But you could be everyone's like tracking their own leaderboards and essentially pushing themselves.
But but these kids are like,
they're
not even teenagers.
They're
yet.
kids.
Yeah, no one wants to do jumping jacks in their fucking kitchen where the family computer is.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially if like their parents are home and stuff, they might not want to.
So like that's what I was thinking. I was like, how the fuck did you even get these kids to do anything?
That's rough.
And she's like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And now we're like in person again. They probably stopped. I don't know. I stopped messaging her. She was kind of boring, to be honest.
wait. You
Yeah,
didn't know
wow.
this person?
No, this was a girl that I matched with on Hinge.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, damn, dude, just
that's some
a teacher.
respect.
Hey, if you're a teacher out there,
I'm sorry,
But you also
Check
gotta
out Hinge.
remember, not all states require a gym.
that's true.
That is true.
It's just because we live in Illinois.
She was a teacher
that
in
it does.
Illinois.
Okay.
But yeah, she was just kind of boring to talk to.
Well, because she was a gym teacher.
What? So she's boring automatically?
So what was your first initial conversation with her?
Yo, what that ass do?
Oh my god. Squats. No.
does it clap though, or like?
No, it came up later in the conversation, but like the whole
it still came up.
the whole time it was like I was writing this big ass like decent sized messages, and she was like really
guy.
quick, like small responses. I was
Yeah,
like,
for
all
sure.
right, well, this is stupid. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you got-
agree.
It's because you got her mid-set, bro. Like, why? Remember? So, like, I remember asking Renee or asking our group chat because I was like,
yeah.
I was like, hey guys, there's this girl at the gym that I'm like, I think she's hot. You know, like I'm like, I want to approach her.
Yeah.
I want to talk to her. And then these guys are like, heck no.
Oh yeah, I feel like
she's
that's weird.
she's
I don't
in the
think-
zone.
I don't
'cause
think-
She's
Yeah,
at the
dude.
gym. She's the gym teacher.
so okay, so then
That's not a right environment,
But
in my
like-
opinion.
But like, what if she's working out? You know, she's
Yeah.
at work. She's in between classes. She's like, I could get a quick workout in. And here goes Renee writing out a paragraph.
Like,
and
yo,
she's like,
what up?
I haven't read a paragraph since I've gotten out of school.
I
so,
mean,
like,
but
I'm good.
I feel
Yeah.
like she doesn't reply at the same time every day. She doesn't wait till
Well,
then.
yeah,
to
that's what I was gonna
reply.
say. Like sometimes she would reply like randomly throughout like the normal work day. I'm like, all right, maybe she's in between classes. But then I was like, all right, fine. If you respond like short, quick messages during the workday, that's fine. But she was doing that like at night as well.
Okay, so to kind of tie all this together, do you think online dating is just as hard as online education, or is it easier because you don't have to face the person you're trying to talk to?
That's true. I think it's easier because if it gets to a certain point where I'm like, all right, well, this isn't going anywhere. I just stop responding and that's it. Whereas like if
you
you're
don't
face
have to
to
be
face,
like, hey, you're nice. It's not you, it's me. It's like,
right. Yeah, you don't even have to come up with bullshit. You could just not even say anything.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay.
I will say the one thing online education makes me think of is just like students go to prom like on Discord. And then,
Yeah, how does
like
that
some of
work?
them just watch it, like it just like disconnects. You
Yeah.
like you still there? I'm trying to
internet's
dip
lagging.
you. My laptop, the cord doesn't reach. The cord doesn't reach that long. Like what happened?
And that did come up too, because like yeah, it's kind of weird to think about that. Like, there's students who were going into high school that technically haven't even been in the high school, and now they're juniors. So like they went from being in 8th grade to being juniors in high school, and they haven't even physically been in the school
And
yet.
they still have to like interact with possibly a whole new group of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Even like even Northern, Northern, their first week, I saw that they were completely remote. Even though like you probably wouldn't have seen Kobe that syllabus.
It's syllabus week. It's the same thing. Nothing happens.
Historically, you probably wouldn't have seen him, but.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's like an excellent thing, you know, because Kobe, he needs his rest.
Like
I do.
When you don't wake up in the morning?
No, I don't go to syllabus week.
That's true.
Shit,
Kobe
okay.
just skips a whole week.
Like,
So what do you do during that week?
I say I'm still in
home.
Chicago. I'm still like 2 hours away.
He's
Oh,
still
gotcha.
drunk somewhere at some bar. He's
Okay,
like,
hold on. I could
It's
not
like
get to a
11
bar
o'clock
at
in
like
the morning.
19 at like 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay,
Depends on what
They
bar
weren't
you
even
go to.
open.
Oh.
Dude, party foul.
That's,
Sounds like you were drunk. Did you go to syllabus week?
I did.
It doesn't look like
And
it.
look at that.
He ended up as one of the people that actually bought the books first day.
See, that's
you go.
what happens. I made the mistake. I bought books before class started, and the teacher's like, "You don't need that." I was like, "Well, I can't return it. You try to pay me back?"
So then he goes from that day, I will never come on syllabus week. That's the origin.
It's pretty
story,
close
I
to a
guess.
similar.
I
Pretty
mean,
close to what
you go.
happened.
It sounds like it.
All right, you got the next.
Yeah, next topic. Kobe, what was the last vacation you went on?
Oh, Boston. Next question.
Next question. Did you enjoy it? Like, what did you do when you were in Boston? Is there anything that you would want to do next time you're in Boston?
We went on
Would
this,
you want to meet Jason Tatum the next time?
we went on a historical T-boat.
I'll be right back because I gotta clean that up.
I got lost for a little bit.
Wait, you got lost in Boston or?
I get lost everywhere I go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you get used to it. It's something you expect.
Did you ever hear about the time Kobe and I shared what was it, a raft? Not a raft.
Oh my
A
god!
kayak?
Yeah,
We got
yes,
lost.
yeah.
We could have gotten lost real quick.
I heard you guys were on the. So when I went to Austin, I tried to get Kobe to come in the raft with us. And Kobe was like, "No, I'll meet you guys at the car." And we were like, "Kobe, we're literally right here." He literally waited in line with us.
Yeah.
And he was still adamant, like,
Dude,
"No."
I was
this
there for
before or
my
after we went?
boys.
Yeah.
I think it was before.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Because like I don't have good rafting experiences.
Yeah, I saw that
I
firsthand.
I went canoeing in middle school, and we just went bank to bank all the way up the river. We were in last place.
Well, even then, that's better than what Mike and I saw in Austin.
Dude, I was struggling.
You guys were literally paddling in a
So
circle.
I was like, hey, I go kayaking pretty often. Like I got it. Kobe and I got it. Like it's not that bad.
To be fair, I did warn them I was trash.
Well, like, our idea was like, all right, Trado said he's done this before. He
Right.
knows what he's doing. So let's put him with Kobe, who has the least amount of confidence in himself. And then-
Justified.
Jesus.
yeah, and then like Mike and I will go because we're in the middle. So it's basically we'll do the second and third seed together and the first and fourth seed because that should even out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike and I were fine.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
We were balling out.
I'm like a 7th seat out of like 4 people. Like that's how bad I am. I tried to tell you.
There's only 4 spots, and somehow you were the 7th seed.
When I tell you we didn't get further than like 20 feet from the
Oh
port.
yeah.
Okay, we get like 30 feet. Okay,
It was like 25.
Mike and I turned around like 15 minutes into it, and you guys weren't even on the lake anymore.
At one point, I think we got stuck. Right? We're like,
We got stuck
"Shit,
several
abort,
times.
Abort.
We got it was at least twice.
We got a
stuck.
message from I think it was from Kobe, and he was like, "Hey, we went to this place. It's like right next to where we parked, the Cidercade.
Yeah, we ditched
We're gonna hang out here until you guys are done."
which
and it
ended
was
up being really fun.
we
were there for a while, but the whole point was like, I tried.
We went back there when we went back to Austin recently,
Oh, really?
and like that was our destination this time.
Yeah.
The arcade or the
It's a cool
canoeing?
place. The arcade.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
it
we went there
was a
and
really
did
cool
the
spot.
fucking. We challenged each other with the basketball like pop shot thing.
Is that where Mike hit a record or something?
Yeah, I think I Snapchatted it, but okay, so that's your vacation story.
Well, that's
Where
my
would you
latest
want
vacation.
to go on vacation if you
Me?
could choose? All expenses paid. Like you could go there for
Go
5
anywhere?
days.
Shit.
Yeah.
Japan.
Japan.
Japan. I think I would go to Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, probably
Oh, nice.
Sydney.
I'm not trying to get
Why?
a giant tarantula attack me. All right,
I mean, I would thug it out.
Put it on
I wouldn't.
you put it on the Bobby.
You were here the highest
Put it on the
pitch
Barbie?
voice out of me you have ever
The
seen.
Bobby.
The Bobby.
Not the Barbie.
You
The
were-
Bobby.
Bobby.
The Bobby.
All right, where would
Like
you
Bobby
go?
Hill. Like
Pretty
I'd probably
much.
go to Dubai, honestly, if it was all
Oh,
expenses.
Dubai would be kind of dope.
Yeah, like as long as all my expenses are paid.
Yeah.
Like I mean, not only my flight, but like everything that I spend there.
Yeah.
Because like then I'll
God
be.
damn, dude.
I'll be
dude.
living
Who
with
do
the
you know?
princes,
I
bro.
know.
I'll be like, hey.
It's like I'd be chilling with the fucking the oil dealers out there.
oh,
Yeah, right. And they're
I'd
all
be
in
like, I am
Lamborghinis.
oil. Like at this point.
Okay.
All expense paid, baby.
Yeah, honestly. Hey, they said
upstairs
They
right
said
now.
free. I said I'm there. You know, like that's me. right there.
Trado, where would you go?
I don't know. I feel like I would want to go to somewhere local, but not local. So like maybe like
St.
Toronto.
Louis.
St.
He
Louis.
said Berwyn.
Just go to.
I'd go
Listen,
off the
Milwaukee.
tracks.
I feel like 2 stops down.
Yeah.
I would go to Toronto for sure, because it's like it's not too far and it's
Oh, bro.
Where did we
you
go?
know,
Quebec? Is that where we went?
Quebec. We went to
Quebec?
Montreal.
Oh,
I do want to go back to
No,
Montreal.
that's in
though.
Quebec though.
Yeah, it's Quebec,
Yeah,
Montreal.
okay.
Yeah. I do want to go back to Montreal now because I'm
You speak French apparently.
I'm almost
think so.
300 days into French Duolingo.
This guy plays Halo in French.
I do, bro. You know how hard it was.
Call outs. Those call outs are goaded though. Like
No, I thought I was like, oh, I'll play the Halo campaign in French because it'll help me learn French and it'll get me more accustomed to the language.
It doesn't
right?
work like that.
And
It does help though.
it does,
does
help.
help.
But one thing that I didn't consider was that it's hard. Like I finally understand like what my parents must have felt like when they originally came to the U.S.
Like the
Because, like,
language is hard or the
You know,
campaign.
like the language. Well, the campaign's
all
kinda hard,
heroic?
too.
But in French.
he was on the third skull and he was like,
It's
fuck,
heroic
oh my
as
god,
fuck.
he
He's
died.
like normal French.
Yeah.
Wow.
I started the campaign on Legendary.
Right.
No, I started on Heroic. But
Trash.
it's hard because, like, I know enough French where I kind of know what they're saying, but
Yeah.
not really. So, like, and I have to really pay attention to what they're saying, you know? So, like, when I hear something in Spanish or I hear something in English, like, I can kind of half pay attention and I know what's happening.
Right.
But in French, when I hear something, like, if I'm not fully paying attention, I don't understand.
That's all I was when I went to Japan.
Yeah.
All I said was Daijobu, which is Japanese for okay.
Okay.
Like, literally, that was my answer to everything.
Daijobu.
Pretty much.
Daijobu.
And I learned that there. I did
Yeah.
not know that before going there.
All right, so comment it down below on how you think that is actually spelled.
Ooh, that's a
Ooh,
good
you
question.
probably got
That's
it
a
wrong
good question.
already.
Yep. I already fucked
I
that
can
up.
guarantee.
I can promise you, I've already put it down, and it's
already
already
wrong.
wrong. Like, and I probably looked it up, and I probably
It is still got it
like
wrong.
wrote
I
it
will
down
say it
wrong.
one more time. Daijobu.
Okay, so
Daijobu.
Think how you think
D
about
I E
Okay, you're wrong.
Yeah.
J
yeah, you got it
O
Already
by
wrong.
E.
D-I-E-J-O-B-I-E. You're combining letters.
Yeah, what's Bai?
Oh, you know,
I-E.
it's Bai.
I E.
And it's
Bai.
Joby. Where's the "by" come
Oh,
from?
Bon Jovi.
Oh, Bon Jovi.
Oh, living on a prayer.
Yeah.
Ah, I like
He was
that
in
song.
yeah.
a rock band.
That's what I realized when I was playing the Halo campaign in French. It's like, oh, I have to pay attention, otherwise I don't know what's happening. And I was like, oh, this is what it must be like when you don't really know a language and you're trying to understand somebody who's talking the language.
You all speak Spanish and English, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I tend to try to.
So it
you don't
gave
speak
me
English?
Not fluently, no.
kind of a culture shock because I was like, oh,
That's pretty cool, though.
This is hard.
So can I ask you something? Did you like Master Chief's voice more in English or in French?
Yeah, was there a
That's a good
difference?
question.
They both sounded good. Like they both sounded like Master Chief.
Was he like we or like yes?
Or he's like, "See,"
Je m'appelle Master
or
Chief.
no.
Oh,
did you say-
hey, relax. I've only got like 100 days in
Do we
French.
say
Okay,
only
so
do
I'm gonna need you to
fromage?
tone that down.
Apple du fromage, bitch.
I only watch a few episodes of Dexter Laboratory, so that's like all
Yeah,
I know.
it's an omelet with fucking cheese on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, omelet. Omelet is omelet, obviously.
Oh, is it?
Wait, hold on. You went too fast for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to write this down.
Omelet is omelet. Du is of. Fromage is cheese. So omelet du fromage is omelet of cheese.
So how do you
it's
say-
a cheese omelet?
Taco.
Taco? We haven't gotten that far into it.
Hey, Duolingo, step up.
Can you
Come
go
on.
over omelet again?
Yeah. What's omelet again?
Omelet?
Oh, okay, hold on. You got to do a little bit of ASMR. That way you could put that tag on there.
Okay, no, you-
Omelet.
Oh. My skin crawled as I'm listening to this
Yeah,
podcast.
my skin
going
crawled in
back.
the
I was like, God, why?
It's going well. I think if I were to if I absolutely needed to communicate to someone in French, I think I can figure it out.
Okay.
So like
That's
at the very minimum, I could ask them, "Do you speak Spanish or English? Because help me."
that's good for only
That's-
doing
I mean, that's a good starting point.
only doing Duolingo.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So my ultimate goal is that I can get through like the Halo game, and like I could start watching shows and movies in the language, because I feel like at that point that's when it would become most accessible to me. Because listening and doing it in Duolingo, like you learn stuff, but you
Actual
don't really learn how
conversation.
people talk, like conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
It's a different speed.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Then you get dialects and all that.
because what I've learned is that like French is super fast. So like even when I'm doing Duolingo, I'll be like, "What the fuck did you
I think
just
any
say?"
language that you don't speak in just sounds super fast.
So
I mean, yeah.
I guess that being said, Trado,
What up?
if
guy.
you absolutely had to change your name, like
Oh.
you have to, you cannot keep Jose as your name.
Oh,
Who's that?
No, Jose's
what would
over
your
here.
name be?
Man. Something cool like
Not this one.
Marquez?
yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
This guy's like,
Yeah.
hey Marquez. I was
Yeah,
like, what
Jose
the fuck
and
are
I
you
were
talking
talking, I was
about?
like, yeah, you didn't know
Yeah, you
that's
got
his
the
real
wrong guy.
name? Jose Marquez Trado.
Yeah, JMT.
Well, because like so I was mid shoot around because I normally do that after my workout, and then I hear you
that.
guys talking about. All right, so what would you change your name to because you want
Yeah.
your name to be like something
Because
cool?
we just talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I was like, oh, so let me just text him. Let me just be like, oh,
Hey, yo,
what
Marquez.
up? What up, Marquez? And then he goes,
was like-
what? Like, what are you
Did
even
you
talking
message the
about?
right person?
Yeah. I was like, oh wow, like this guy doesn't even remember this episode. So like, don't meet your heroes because like they'll
Which is
disappoint
fair.
you. Honestly,
Like, we do this
speaking
for
of-
an hour once a week. We don't really remember what we say.
We've done this. This will be our 103rd time doing this. There's a lot of shit that we cover.
So if you had to rename yourself, what would you rename it?
Marquez.
I'm gonna get back to it. I want something cool.
He wants Marquez Brownlee, MKHB.
Yo, that guy's dope.
That
Yo,
guy's
that guy's
pretty
cool as fuck.
He wants to take over-
MKHB.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like I will.
my bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
GGQ.
That reminds me. Jose pointed out a very important fact to me today, because he was like, "Oh, bro, I never save your address. What's your address?" So I was like, "Oh, And I told him my address, and I live on a drive, right? And he's like, oh, doctor. Because drive is, when you shorthand it, it's DR, but doctor is also DR. So in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to call every doctor Drive from now on, just to fuck with them.
Oh, that's
Dr.
that's
Martinez, like Drive Martinez.
Yeah, so instead of Dr. Martinez, I'd say Drive Martinez.
Well,
I think that's because I'm a lot funnier than you than it does to them.
I know. To them,
like,
they'll
oh,
probably be
we've heard this.
annoyed. But it's not my fault. That's just the way the English language is laid out.
guess.
Well, in a way, that's also extremely disrespectful because they'd be like, "Bro, I put in like 8 years of
That's
time
cool.
to get
It's
this."
not. I'm not the one who decided that
care.
Drive and Doctor get abbreviated the same
They
way.
give me the wrong prescription one, so I can call whatever I
and then
want
you
to.
can just pull
I
out
can't
your
read their handwriting, so fuck you.
pull out your license, be like, "Yep, driver's license right here."
Yeah,
Took me.
I'm basically a doctor
Took
because
me
I live on a
6
drive.
months. Damn. I think my name would be like something cool, like Latrice.
Latrice. So Latrice Trado.
Yeah.
All
Final
right.
answer.
Jose.
It would probably be.
Not Latrice.
Quasimodo?
No,
Yeah.
Quasimodo.
It'd probably be like Xavier.
Ooh, Xavier.
Dude, that's my brother's name. That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's kind of my
Xavier
name.
Wow,
Villagomez.
that's weird. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, you don't need to put my whole legal name out there.
All right.
Like-
yeah, what's your last
We
name?
already said that.
Huh?
What's your last name?
Villa Gomez.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I won't lie. I didn't know the alphabet in first grade, but
So now
my
you
mom
know.
gave me the chance to name my brother, and I was like, "Oh, let's name it Xavier because that's the end of the alphabet."
Bro. X.
That's actually pretty cool.
And then a few weeks later, I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, there's a Z.
there's 2 letters out. There's 2 letters after that."
So then, what would you have named him had you known that it was Z?
The Xavier.
that wasn't my forecast. I was only in first grade. Like,
Zebra.
I don't know what else I would have named him.
I don't know.
Yes, I will name him Zebra. I don't know another name I will go by, but sometimes I introduce myself as Terrion.
Oh,
Oh,
Terrion's
okay.
a good one.
Hey, Trinidad though.
I said
Carry on.
Terrion.
Oh, I heard. My bad. The headphones. It's the headphones.
Terrion
I heard
sounds kinda-
Carry
Trinidad.
on's kind of cool.
I heard
Yeah.
Trinidad James. That's all I heard.
Terrion.
Terrion sounds cool.
I wouldn't change mine now.
I would love to be friends with a person named Terrion.
Yo, right
Yeah,
here.
you'd be like,
Trinidad,
oh, you'd be
I
like
hear-
Terry. Like, back it up, Terry.
That's my middle name. One of them. So
I wouldn't tell
Yeah.
Terry to back it up. I would be
No.
like, yo, Terry, don't
Hey,
back
you
it
never
up.
seen that video, the back it up Terry video?
Like Terry,
the
like
fireworks?
that's cool, but I'm not really into that.
Oh, I mean,
Like, no offense if you are, but like personally, I'm not kind of into that. Doja Cat though.
you know her middle name's Terry.
Doja,
Doja Terry
Terrion Cat.
no, not
I'm
their
gonna tear
middle name is
something
not
up.
Terrion. It's Ter.
It's Terry.
Hey, I'll tear something different. but it's-
BTC.
Yeah, I'm tearing on. I'm tearing on. Tearing on that.
You guys
So
are
I think Renee's about to retire.
yeah.
I'm gonna edit this whole clip out just to be like, no,
Yep.
YouTube cannot.
That
allow
never
that.
happened.
He's been trying too hard.
That did not happen.
all I said was Terry on.
I don't know. I think to round out the
Nah,
question.
keep it going.
No, to round out the question, I would go with a slightly more normal.
Renee
male
with
name.
2 E's.
No,
Hey,
that's literally the opposite.
Hey, I know her.
Renee.
I know her. She's out there. I trust me.
Shout out to Renee with 2 E's.
Hey, she's out there.
I did meet a
shout out.
Dr. Renee once.
Ooh.
And should I call her Drive Renee?
Drive.
Renee.
You know Drive. You
DR.
just said DR.
All
I
right.
gotta call her Drive Renee.
DR. Yeah.
Could also mean Dominican Republic.
she's Dominican.
But she's not Republic. Anyway.
She's definitely from the DR.
She's Dominican Democrat.
DD.
She's DD.
Oh, Didi.
The
Like
designated
Dexter's
DD?
sister.
Yeah, she's the designated driver
She's
all
a
the time.
Dominican for
She works at Dunkin' Donuts.
Democratic. Hey, they got fire donuts.
Well, they're only called Dunkin' at this point now, actually.
Not all
All
of
right.
them. They haven't all been relabeled.
Oh well, that's bad
You
marketing.
know they're big in
Yeah,
Boston.
it is.
Dunkin' Donuts? Yeah, they're fucking huge.
They're big in
Like,
Boston.
I didn't see one when
Last
I was
time
in
I was
Boston.
in Boston, I didn't see a single Starbucks.
I didn't see a single Dunkin'
It's
Donuts.
more
Why?
of a
I mean,
You
Seattle.
didn't go to the right part of Boston.
We were at Harvard.
Wrong part of Boston.
Wrong
True.
part.
True.
That's where you in Harvard you have your pinky up just instinctly.
I did do. You're right.
It just went up.
Even,
I don't
even,
even know.
even by
like this.
even by saying Harvard, like you see
It's like
evidence.
I
for
took
that.
Viagra, but it only affected my pinky.
Right? Oh, because it's hard.
Harvard.
Harvard.
I
With
did
silent D.
I had an incantation for tea for some reason. Not sure why.
Boston Tea
Crumpets?
Party? That's fucked up.
Not crumpets though. We ain't British. We don't mess with them. All right.
We don't mess with those crumpets.
The only one who's cool is 21 Savage. All right. No.
That's true. Fucking Batman villain. Out
And Emma Watson. Anyway, next question.
next question. I'll go first.
Didn't wrap up too.
What app seemed like magic the first time you used it?
Oh.
To be honest, for me, I think it was like Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Ooh.
Because like I could just randomly go on there and say, I want this. And then it shows up.
Yeah.
And then I can eat it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty cool.
to me, it kind of blew my mind the first time I used that app.
Yeah, that's
I
actually
don't
pretty
have
cool.
anything further than that, but the fact that I could push buttons on my phone and say, I want this food, and then the food shows up, to me, that was like fucking magic.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know.
Sounds like you don't like to cook, but like,
Well, yeah, that too.
Well, he only knows how to make eggs, so
Okay, Kobe.
well, all right,
am I
scrambled because he tries to make hard.
Try to make an omelet, and then you just get a scramble.
Yeah, and then he's like, wow, he's like, well,
Yeah.
this busted, so time to scramble.
Shit's busting.
That was a plan from the start.
Throw some cheese on there. Forget it.
What about you guys? Kobe, what was the app that felt like magic to you?
It wasn't the app. It was the iPod Touch in general.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember, I think, what was it, 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Someone was like, iPod Touch, you can touch the screen and do stuff. And like, that's not real.
You can't touch the screen.
That's not
Where's the
out.
buttons?
Yeah, that's not out yet. Like,
Yeah.
that's in movies. That's
That
not
doesn't
real.
exist.
And then someone's like, it's like the second generation. It's been out for a while. I was like, no way. And I got it, and literally, I wasn't even using the features. I was just using the touch
Like the
screen.
fact that you could move it while touching.
It touch. Like, yeah, that's how old we are.
Have you seen those videos where Apple announces their first iPhone?
No.
And it's like they literally teaching
Hard
people
no.
how to like swipe.
Yeah.
Or like, hey.
Because it wasn't a concept that people understood yet.
Yeah,
Now
I know,
for
I
us,
didn't.
it's like, well, that's stupid.
Second
But
nature.
Back then,
Yeah.
it's like there's no buttons. Like this
Yeah,
is all new shit.
I was like, what do you mean there's only one button? How are you supposed to call somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
play
the part
music.
that kind of trips me up too with like Gen Z, where they're like they know how to use any recent phone or tablet or like laptop, but they don't like really understand how it works without having a touch screen. You know. So like they know how to use it, but they don't understand the technology behind it. Like they
Right.
don't realize that there was a time where, like you had like a physical T9 keyboard, or like you had to type things in a certain
Don't you
way.
still use T9?
I personally do, yes,
Okay,
That's wild.
but like I'm in the very vast majority or minority.
Yeah.
Very-
Majority.
like
Majority.
very.
Majority.
Yeah.
Majority. Is it your majority or is it majority?
It's
Who's
majority.
majority?
Oh, it is your majority.
Jose, what was an app that felt like magic the first time you used it?
It's gotta be. So it's a tie between Audible
Audible, okay.
and YouTube, because I basically, when I wasn't able to afford Audible, I would look up the Audible version of a book
On YouTube, okay,
and I would listen to an hour video of it as I was studying it.
that's fair.
So like instead of reading a chapter, I would listen to it as I ran, and I would be doing my homework that way, and they'd be like, okay, this sort of makes sense, and then I would go to my homework and be like, all right, let's.
I understand now.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this makes sense because I just listened to this. So then I would write it all down, and then I'd be like, okay, if I want to quote, I would like go right back and then do it instead of paying for the money for the book.
Yeah.
I will say a quick thing for younger viewers. There's a time where you did not have to worry about copyright issues on YouTube.
That's true.
I think it wasn't until like Google bought them or something.
Yeah.
Because then they started doing advertisements, and that's where it became a problem. But there's a lot of copyrighted videos on YouTube that
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
Right. Like,
It was just a whole nother time.
Different time. Yeah.
It was a whole wave.
Oh man, it was amazing. It was like a revolution, honestly.
well,
it was
yeah.
like, you begin to see like
Anyone can post any video.
yeah, people were like pushing the boundaries of like what they could have done, and that was like a creative pioneer. Like you continued to see like a ton of people trying to innovate as much as they could because they had the forethought of like, hey, this is something that would be amazing for like, they would be like, oh, this is something that someone should watch or someone should see, or they would be like, hey, this is like even like movie reviewers, they would put up like clips, like long clips of like a movie that like obviously now would be like completely flagged down
It'd
because
just be copyright strikes. Yeah.
Right.
and they would break down a ton of the movie and they'd be like, this is amazing because this and this, and it would be so educational because you would be able to appreciate the director on why he did certain things.
Right.
But now you actually don't get that. Now you could hear them talk about like break it down, but you actually
You can't
don't
actually see it.
Yeah, you don't get the visual aspect, so you're missing that like connection.
Shout out to all those movie reviewers that do like the Easter eggs, and it's like,
Oh, it's like, oh, if you
240
didn't notice,
things you
yeah.
missed. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, how the fuck did you see
That's
that?
true.
Shout out New Rockets. Shout out like Jeremy Johns. Shout out like all these other guys that like honestly they do that. Like
Yeah. Shout
Pretty
out
cool.
Amy Adams.
ooh, I never.
I didn't feel like you just want to shout her out. I feel like there's not a connection.
He's like Amy.
Just the
hit
way
me
you
up.
said it.
Hit me up in the DMs.
It's like the dude from the what's it called, the Street Talk videos.
Oh,
Like the ones that are like all in
BingBong.
like Brooklyn. Yeah, those guys. Where it's like, Ariana Grande, I miss you.
yeah. Yo, speaking of street talk,
Were you trying to say to Joe Byron?
no.
Joe Byron.
The Italian guy I showed you, the TikToker.
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
He was on there.
He was on the Street Talk.
He was on the street talk.
There was
Yeah.
an Italian dude. I remember that.
Long hair. He's funny.
Long hair, don't care.
There you go.
I actually, that line never made sense to me because
Long
like,
hair, don't care.
I feel like most girls have long hair.
I
so
think
like
it's-
I don't
It
I
goes
don't
back to,
understand
like,
what
I think
you
it's
don't
more
care
for-
about.
I honestly felt like it's more for like guys who like will have like a mullet or something.
Or like the hippie era where
So,
it's
like,
like,
what,
if you had
these-
long hair, you would look down.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, this one's kind of good. I skipped one of the questions because it said, "What are you doing this week?" And obviously this. So I didn't even want to ask that one.
work.
Jose, what do you do when you're bored?
Ooh, good question. I don't know half the time.
You literally just asked us.
Like I asked you guys, I was like, "What should I do?" when I'm
Yeah,
bored?
you did
Because-
like less than a week ago.
So I've gotten into cooking.
Okay.
I tried to get into cooking.
That's a good one.
Being a little bit more independent. I've been trying to force myself to read a little bit more. I work out a lot more compared to when I was before. Just honestly keeping myself busy because I feel myself at points. I'm a very sociable person. So if I'm not around people,
Look at this
it
man.
like sort of not in a way it gives me anxiety, but like
like drains you, I guess.
yeah, it makes me feel really weird. Like, cause I'll overthink. I'll be like, fuck. Like, I'll try texting people and I'll like start spamming them.
Yeah.
Like panicking. Cause I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? How was your day?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, how do you feel? This and that. And to some people, it would be like, dude, what is
the fuck
wrong
are you
with
doing?
you?
Yeah.
But like to me, I'm like, I just need someone to talk to because
Right.
I'm so bored at this point where I don't know what to do. And some people might look at this and be like, all right, this guy needs like a life or something. But like I have a life. Like like most of the time I'm so busy to the point where I don't have free time. So when I do have free time,
You don't know what to do.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so confusing because I'll be like, how do people even do with like this time? Like what do people even do?
I feel like that's like a really classic example of a person, like, you know how like people say there's two type of people. There's an introvert and an extrovert, and like introverts benefit from being alone, and extroverts benefit from being with other people and like interacting with people. And I feel like that's like a really classic example of a textbook extrovert. Like you need other people to function.
Yeah.
Like without other people, you like start going a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
There should be more, technically, theoretically, there should be more extroverts because humans are social creatures.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it is like a 50-50.
And it's especially hard, like especially recently, and by recently I mean in the last 3 years with COVID.
With COVID and
Because like,
quarantining.
you
Watch
know,
out for that new
people,
variant.
you're literally told to stay away from people.
Yeah.
So from extroverts, it's really hard.
Yeah, but we have the technology and we have the ability to reach out to people without
compared-
physically reaching out to
Compared
people.
to all other generations that had like plague
Oh,
or
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
this is the best time
Like
to have to deal
we're a
with
lot
that.
better off.
Imagine being quarantined in the early 1900s where you couldn't even go to your neighbor's house and like, you know, like
Right.
now you have Discord, you have FaceTime. You
Literally
have,
couldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Like literally.
But I feel like on the opposite side, like depending on who you interact with, like if you're an extrovert interacting with introverts, like you want to interact with them, but then the introverts was like, well, I kind of don't want to. I don't want to go out of my way to make myself worse. You know?
Yeah, which is like it's really interesting because I appreciate you categorizing me as an extrovert because I consider myself an introvert that tries to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
Which is like very, very weird and contradictory.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I'm an introvert in the way because like if I'm in a room of like random people, there's ways where I can force myself to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
Because I've been trained, especially through like networking and like marketing and like trying to find your way into a business of like, hey, you gotta market, you gotta network, you gotta like expand your whole horizon. But then a part of me is like, I really don't have the energy or like, like I just want to have a genuine conversation. I don't want to feel like I have to sell myself to someone.
Right.
And so like that is a massive thing where I would classify myself as an introvert that tries to be an extrovert. But there are moments where like, let's say I'm in a room and like you have a ton of your friends here that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll sit back and I will completely read the room and I'll just listen. And I will just analyze everything.
yeah, you're just adapting to your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I will have one-on-one conversations that will be meaningful to me. And then I'll pick up things. And then when I'm in a big group again, I'll bring those things up.
Right.
So then I make a bigger connection with that person and I'll make a bigger connection with the group entirely.
That's true. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of hard to. I feel like that makes it hard for the individual to determine, like, am I actually an extrovert or am I actually an introvert? Yeah. Because a lot of, like Jose said, a lot of introverts are just really good at faking it. And to the point where, like, other people who are extroverts, they assume that you're also an extrovert just because of the way that you act when you're in a group.
Because you're kind of forced to.
Right.
You go to school.
Yeah.
Or you're forced
like,
to social situations.
It's
just what happens.
I forgot who said it, but like it's
Batman?
Yeah, Batman said it. It's an extrovert's world, and introverts just have to find a way to function within it.
Yeah.
Those introverts' time was during COVID. They were living it up.
Oh yeah, it's like those, like the memes on like TikTok or Instagram where it's like, introverts pretending to be sad that there's a new COVID variant so they can continue staying inside. You know?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, the people that stream, the people that are like, you know.
And I feel like COVID was a really good indication where people really found out which way they lean towards.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Because it's hard to tell when like you're like constant in communication with people. But like COVID was really easy to tell, like, oh, I actually need to interact with other people.
I had friends was like, yo, guys, like, let's do something. And it was like, we're still in the midst of it. We don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like, some of us still have our families, and people are like, dude, I'm so bored. Like, let's go do something.
I need to
like,
do something.
We literally can't go anywhere. Yeah. Everywhere is closed.
And then those extroverts like force their way to like
extroverts are like, I need to do something.
They're like,
you don't understand.
With
I know
other
this
people,
bar.
yes.
I know this bar that like they're still open and like when you're drinking, you don't technically have to have your mask, so you could have a drink in your hand the entire time.
And you can just drink the whole time. Yeah.
So like you're just like, all right, let's just bombard this place.
Right.
And then the business is like, heck yeah.
Yeah,
like,
because the business is
bring
like,
people
I
over.
need the fucking
The
income.
revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's such a like right now is such an interesting time, especially for like a business owner, and then for like you said, like social creatures, because you begin to see that need. That's why like even right now, like they announced St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the first year in like 2 or 3 years that it's actually gonna happen again.
Yeah.
So I've gone out on St.
So far, right?
Before
Right.
the St. Patrick's before it started, I went out.
St. Patrick's Day was like at least in Illinois,
It was like-
in the Chicagoland area. St.
Like,
Patrick's
we're
Day
done.
we're like, all right, fuck you guys,
Yeah.
we're done.
I
We're
went to
lockdown.
a house party, so I was straight.
I mean, that's still compared to like going out to a random bar with a bunch of random people.
Are clubs open yet?
Yes.
Yes, clubs.
I know
they-
bars are
I wouldn't
open.
Yeah,
I
they've
can
gone
tell
through
you
a
yes.
huge like flux of like opened with restrictions, closed, opened with restrictions, open. Like they've gone.
Yeah, for the most part right now, based on the people that I talk to, they are open.
Yeah.
Okay.
They hold a dress code that way they could continue to fluctuate the amount of people that are
Mm-hmm.
in, and like before they used to not really care about the dress code, but
They
now
kind of did.
well, sort of, but like now they're
You're not getting
sort
in
of
with jorts.
Yeah, they're sort of like they're sort of like really hitting home with those because they'll use those as an excuse rather than talking about hey, because of COVID
Yeah.
they don't want to do that. I feel
Their dress codes were pretty strict before.
well. I mean,
But now they're stricter.
Okay.
yeah, I mean it just gives them another excuse. Like
It
honestly,
does. It's true.
because then they could just be like, hey, you know what? It's not me. It's the dress
It's
code.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
it
hey,
was you
literally
before.
you.
go back
I'm
home
breaking
and
up with you.
change, and then you change, and then they're like, yeah, no, you're too.
Actually,
fugly.
you still can't get
yeah,
He just changes to different colored Tims.
Right. You had the classic Tims. Now you got the dark Tims.
Right.
damn.
Why are they coming on my Tims, man?
Speaking of your Tims, Kobe, what do you do when you're bored?
What do I
Boots
do
with
when
the
I'm
fur.
bored?
Yeah.
Cleans his Tims.
Cleans his Tims.
I spend like 30 minutes deciding what I can do. I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and then I do none of those things.
That's
and
fair.
eventually I was like, okay, let me do something.
Yeah.
And then I have too many hobbies. Like I need to
good. That's a good answer.
lower it down. Like,
That's true,
Maybe
yeah.
I'll work on a puzzle.
You
maybe
can never
I'll
have
watch,
too many hobbies, though.
Maybe I'll
Well,
watch TV games. Maybe I'll practice piano. Maybe I'll practice my like I
Yeah.
need to lower.
Kobe
it.
did mention that like recently was like literally my hobby is finding hobbies.
Like I
That's a
don't
cool
know what to
hobby.
do. No, it's
But then
it's
like you
pretty
never really
bad.
do anything.
And then like you never get too far in anything because you're like, I spent time. And it's like, well, now I want to do this. and
Yeah.
now I
But
wanna do this.
so you're not mastering your hobbies. You're just kind of
Right.
Well, it's
starting them.
at least the way that I interpreted it was it's basically when you go on Netflix and you're trying to find something to watch, but then you spend 40 minutes just fucking like clicking through the things and watching like the little previews that come up.
You know,
You
sometimes
didn't really watch anything.
Yeah,
just-
you didn't watch anything,
Some
but you
days-
spent
Try to
40
figure it
minutes.
out.
some days right away you'll find something. Some days you're watching, and then I literally I will go through Netflix, and then I'll go through Hulu, and then I'll go through
Yeah.
like HBO, and then I'll end up playing my piano.
Right.
Like I don't have like
That's
there's so many options.
earlier in the pandemic when I didn't have like a solid like series to watch. That's why I just started watching like old random 80s and 90s movies on Amazon Prime. Because I was just watching movies that I did not know existed before and I did not care about. Because I knew I could watch it, finish it within one night, and then I didn't have to worry about watching it again. And then since then, I've just been like shifting between series to series. So like I mentioned before we started recording, I've been watching The Sopranos,
Yo, shout out to the Sopranos.
and like I know as soon as I'm done watching The Sopranos, I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna go back and I'm probably gonna watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. And
That's a big commitment.
yeah,
It's
and
only
that's,
11. It's only 110 episodes. It's not that bad.
that's still a lot bigger than
It's a
like
lot.
like 70 episodes or however long The Sopranos is.
Watch
around
One
then.
I
Piece.
guess
You should watch The Wire.
it's only 1,000
really good.
episodes.
Yeah, and like one of the things that I want to do is watch like all the all the series that people say like, oh, you have to watch this. So like The Wire and like Lost. And,
See,
like,
no, The
stuff like that.
Wire is a commitment. That's
Yeah.
a commitment.
And it's kind of cool though, because so obviously I watched Breaking Bad before I watched The Sopranos. But in watching The Sopranos, I was like, oh, this is exactly like that scene in Breaking Bad.
Oh, really?
But since, The Sopranos came first, David Gillian, I think, is the creator of Breaking Bad.
I think so.
I could tell, like, oh, he was probably influenced by this scene in Sopranos to make this scene in Breaking Bad.
That's pretty cool, though.
And it's kind of cool to see it retroactively.
Right.
The only part against that is when it doesn't matter. Where like a lot of people will say that, How I Met Your Mother is just Friends but newer. And when I watched most of Friends, I was like, oh, I can see it, yeah. But Friends kind of sucks. So like
big
like,
shots.
Yeah.
I feel like for sitcoms, you can't really, because like these tropes happen still all the time. Yes, they become more modern because that's what happens with tropes. That's why they're somewhat similar because people did similar things.
Yeah.
It was only like 20 years ago. 10 years ago, like similar things happened.
Look at WandaVision. They really touched on that.
Yeah,
like,
they touched
the
on
evolution
like
of a
tropes from
sitcom.
this,
Was very similar to.
Well, I think that's why like you look at like sitcoms like you look at The Office, you look at How I Met Your Mother, you look at like Community, and you look at like Parks and Rec, right? These are all three vastly different shows that sort of get you to the same point.
True.
Like it's mainly like endless comedy that also gets you to a point where you stick around because you're actually interested and invested in some of the characters. Because like as you begin to like maybe the first or second episode, you're like, yeah, I don't really relate to any of these characters. But then once you're done with like season 1, you're like, all right, I sort of relate to Ted a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I could understand like what his point of view is. And then you're like, I sort of care about like why maybe in How I Met Your Mother, Ted might actually be a fuck up and he might not actually end up being happy.
Swear jar.
Spoiler.
Oops.
Dude,
But
this is rated E for everyone.
Oh, damn. Well,
Spoiler for a show that,
I will say
finished like 7 years ago.
I will say it is also different because we're in the binge culture. You gotta think about for like shows like I'm gonna use The Office. It was on for 9 seasons. Generally, not always. That means it was on for 9 years. So people are watching this weekly, like building on these characters. They're not learning about these characters and all this in a month.
Yeah.
It was meant to be over long. Now there's a binge culture. Like shows are kind of made to binge.
And if you're Mike, you're finishing it in like a weekend.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, I mean, and that's why
Anti-shout out to Mike.
That's why it's so interesting because now you look at like new Disney shows, right? Like The Mandalorian, where they actually release that week by week. So they I do
like that.
They forced you to like feel back into that, like, hey, you have to wait till the next week, even though they probably already
have all the episodes.
Yeah,
already.
they've recorded everything, they've edited everything, and they're just waiting to release it. But they're forcing you to wait because, in a way, it's streaming services wanting to sort of replace cable because they want. Like Disney Plus wants at one point they want to release something new Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They want to release something new every single day.
Yeah,
that's a whole.
That way they take over cable, but that's a massive overtake. So right now they're just like, hey, we'll give you The Mandalorian every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or hey, you know what? We'll give you the Book of Boba Fett like every Wednesday, and you better be happy with it. And
that's true.
We better
be happy.
And we better see like videos of. We know we're gonna see like 50 videos of like, hey,
like
this
fucking
is,
reactions.
Yeah,
to
this is the breakdown, and then like another 50 videos of this is the stuff that you missed based on the comics and this and that.
Yeah,
and
where it's like a bigger, deeper dive. So
predictions and stuff.
Yeah, so then all these like Disney
creates more hype.
Yeah, Disney's looking at it
that's
as
a
like
good point.
as like, oh my gosh, these people are just like falling in love with this.
Yeah.
When like let's say you took it as an original piece, like How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Imagine that being released every single week. I don't see anyone breaking that down every single week and being like, oh, this is Ted's like mannerisms, and I don't think he would be great in this scenario based on like how he feels and how he acts.
Yeah.
Because there isn't anything canon to like attach that. But you're looking at it and you're like, I could relate to that guy though, because I'm actually sort of feeling like I'm living that parallel world with that person.
Yeah, that is kind of weird how like you'll watch a show. Like when I originally watched How I Met Your Mother all the way through, start to finish, it was like when I was still in high school and we watched it together. Mm-hmm. So like,
yeah, it was a good time.
We watched it and I really couldn't relate to the characters because like at the beginning of How I Met Your Mother, Ted he's like in his early 30s.
Yeah, it was like a different time, like in his life, right? So,
right.
Like, the characters, you see them build up, but you see them build up within that like mid 30s.
Yeah, like, within that mid 30s like timeline. And so watching it as a fucking 18-year-old is a lot different than watching it now as a 27-year-old. And
so
just we're old.
Just like watching Seinfeld. Like Seinfeld now is a lot better than when we were younger.
Than watching
now
it when
it's
you're
like,
younger.
oh shit, I get it.
Because you can actually relate to what they're saying in the show. And I think that part is really critical that they built a show where even though if I were to watch it now, you know, like 8 years after the show finished, I can relate to what that character is going through more now than I could have when I was 18 years old.
Do you think shows are more relatable with time more than music is? Or do you think music kind of sticks with you and you can listen back to a song now and it's like, oh shit, I get it from a different perspective now that I've lived life a little bit more?
I kind of feel like shows, because sometimes, like you guys were saying, you can directly insert yourself. Mm-hmm. A lot of times music can be influenced by your parents. Yeah. But like, I feel like for TV shows, you might have a couple shows you might watch with your parents, but they don't influence what you watch on TV.
Well,
yeah.
It's like, because it's like a different time period now. Like, you might try to watch what they watch and you don't care about it.
Right.
But you can still listen to some of the music your parents listen to. You're like, oh, okay. Like, you know, I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
I mean, so sorry to cut you off. I mean,
dang, that's crazy.
Cutting him off. No respect on you.
If you were on the highway, he just fucking swerved into your lane.
So I would
I would have crashed.
I just died. I hope you're happy.
I'll call the ambulance.
Go ahead,
for
finish.
you.
But I hope this is
I'm already
more
dead.
important.
That don't matter.
I'll call the ambulance for you as I'm continuing driving.
So now you're calling the phone on the highway.
Yeah.
That's illegal, Jose.
Wow.
Don't-
Arrest him.
Don't do as I do.
Yo, Zach.
Do as what I say.
911
You said
right
you were
here.
going to call them.
Dispatch, we need you.
So basically,
No, don't finish. No,
okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say this guy had the best podcast of all time.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish.
right?
I would actually like contradict that
I'm
because I actually think music in a way is actually it a lot of the lyrics are a lot easier to digest compared to an episode or like a season.
That's true.
Because
there's
like
less of it too.
like I remember watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and I was like, oh my God, this guy is like amazing because he goes through a whole entire roller coaster of emotions, not only adapting to his surroundings, but also making his surroundings adapt to him, you know, and that's like extremely powerful because he was like, I don't want to continue to adapt to this rich society around me. I want the rich society to adapt to me,
right?
In a way. And so, but yet you look at like music and music continues to change like everywhere around you. And there's music that is timeless, right? So like you can't tell me that people don't know who Biggie Smalls is, right?
I can tell you there are people who don't know who Biggie Smalls is.
My mom probably doesn't know who he is.
Well, I mean, there's
like people who are into that genre, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's people that are into that genre, but once they get into music, they're gonna at some point they're gonna understand who Michael Jackson is. They're gonna understand who like Tupac is. They're gonna understand who Biggie is.
I disagree with that statement.
Really?
There's Michael Jackson is different because he's like the king of pop, what popular music. A lot of people hear that, but like you can't say people like Tupac and Biggie Smalls because there are a lot of people who don't even they just know about it because it's popular culture. They haven't listened to a single track by him.
There's certain artists that are globally known.
I guess that's kind of fair.
But they know who he is.
Yeah.
Like
but that's not knowing his music.
You go to Japan and you see Michael Jackson, you know it's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Michael Jackson had the fucking Japanese Sega, like Sega Mega, not Genesis, but after the Genesis, Mega Drive, I think it was called.
Oh shit!
He had like a video game.
Did he really?
That came out in Japan.
Oh wow. But I think to piggyback off of that, music I feel is more like time stamped, so it's used more as a time travel because you get attached to not just the song or the album, but what you were doing during that time, right? So if you were in college, you were listening, or like if you were in high school, you were listening to Mac Miller, and like you get to use that as a way to travel back to those times. Whereas a show, like if you don't understand it, you kind of don't pick up on the jokes. But then once you go back to it, you don't really time travel. You kind of just you have a different perspective of it. Yeah.
But there are shows I have avoided because like South Park is one because South Park is always popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's always what's going on. So I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it until I do it from the beginning because I have catching up to do. But like, there are songs that you've listened to that you haven't understood till you were older. Yeah. And now you can like, I can relate to this now.
That's fair.
So
I don't know.
That's my opinion on that.
I kind of more agree with Trado though, because it's like songs to me at least are more time capsuled, like you said. Mm-hmm. Where like I'll listen to a song and I'll remember like.
You sound like you're about to drop a mix. What were you about to sing?
I know, look, you got ready, right?
I switched hands on you real quick.
You're about to go off.
He's about to announce the new release.
Ladies and gentlemen, Renee with two E's.
Worldwide release. Boom, 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 boom.
It's a world premiere.
Damn, son. Where'd you find this?
We the best music.
Oh, shit.
Wait, no, that's no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that.
Delete
That's
that.
the one you
We're
can't
not
say.
the best.
Copyright. Hold on. My bad.
Yeah.
You
No,
two
like,
already flagged it.
Songs are more of a time capsule of when you heard them, and they relate to a specific time in your life. Because like I'll listen to a song now, and like I might understand the lyrics more in depth now than I did when I heard them when I was fucking 14 years old. But it'll still remind me of when I was 14 years old.
I was like, I didn't listen to music heavily until I was like late high school.
Well, you fucked up.
Well, yeah, I found that out.
Yeah.
But I still relate to. I didn't experience these songs when they came out.
So, what was your introduction to like finding your own music? Right, like you know how like we always get influenced by like an older brother or uncle or like.
It was just being around my friends. Yeah. Because I heard I did hear like my mom's like the old like their version of old music.
Yo, Celine Dion's fire.
Yo, Anthony Bennett though, fire.
Man.
Yeah. But like it was just like being around my friends all the time, like high school. Because like the only music I knew were from like movies and like TV shows. I didn't like listen to albums or anything.
Yeah.
Is it Anthony Bennett?
Are you tripping out?
I was waiting for you to say it.
I was like, you know,
Anthony
it's
Bennett
Tony
is the
Bennett.
former.
I guess Anthony Bennett.
Yeah, he dropped
Anthony
something,
Bennett
right?
is the former first overall draft pick that went to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was a complete bust.
He's trying to erase that history.
No,
Yeah.
Tony
I was gonna
Bennett.
say something. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, but Anthony is his legal name.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Don't call him
we're fucking
Anthony
cool with
Bennett
him.
because
Although,
Would you go to his wedding? Like, Jesus Christ.
random side note.
hey,
that I
yo,
remember
Anthony.
is yo, my boy Anthony.
He's just there?
Random side note. Yeah, right. He's all just waving.
He's just there, but he's cool as fuck.
So Tony Bennett, Anthony Bennett, he's had or has currently Alzheimer's, right?
Oh shit.
So obviously with Alzheimer's, you can't really remember shit.
Yeah.
And one part that stands out to me, and even when I hear like articles talking about it or like him performing currently, that gets me emotional is when there's a song, Take Me to the Moon, that he performs, that he's been performing. He wrote it when he was like in his like 20s or 30s or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He wrote it a really long time ago. And that song, for whatever reason, whenever he sings it, he remembers his wife.
Oh, snap.
And so whenever his wife is in the audience and he's singing that song, he's like always singing it to his wife, you know, as like a fucking like serenading her or whatever. Yeah. And even if he doesn't remember who she is, like in day-to-day life, when he's singing that song, the emotions that he feels while he's performing it, he remembers who that person is.
So his mind's connected.
His mind, like in
song,
his mind, even if he doesn't realize it in day-to-day life, when he performs it, he realizes that that song is about his wife.
So how passionate is he about that song? That's
right.
Crazy. Yeah.
And so, like, to me, that further connects the thought, especially, and a lot of artists say this, like Beyonce does this, where she's like, she has like the alternate ego where she's Sasha Fierce, or Nicki Minaj, where she has the persona of like Roman, or like these other other personas that she takes on.
Yeah,
Nicki Minaj a monster though,
and a lot of people, they're like, oh, you know, like when I perform, I take on this different persona or this alter ego that actually does the songs for me, and then I come back to my actual reality.
It's a little scary, but
it's a little scary, but it confirms that thought in my mind that there's actually like two distinct people there.
Well, that's really interesting, because then you look at like method actors, right?
Right.
Because they sort of make themselves into that character.
Yeah.
Like obviously day to day, like they aren't that character, but they actually think about how this character would live, and they'll like immerse themselves in
that character. Yeah.
And so they'll be that character for however long they're shooting. And like it doesn't matter how rough or how like rugged that like environment will be. They will be like, this is who I am. And this is who I am for like as long as the shoot is. And that's why like when the shoot ends, actors sort of like get into that a lot of like weird things, because they're like, now who am I?
It's exactly, it's like a miniature in like a individual person scale. It's like that, you know, that feeling that you get when you're watching a show and you finish the show for the first time and you're like, fuck, what do I do now?
What do I do now?
Rewatch it.
It's but like,
why not?
That feeling that you get even as somebody watching the show, but now imagine the feeling that someone gets as an actor on that show. Where like that character is now done. Like you're done being this person that you've portrayed on a screen for like multiple years.
Yeah. Like imagine like so we sort of talked about, like I sort of talked about
Batman.
Adam
Bruce
West.
Wayne. we sort of talked about like Will Smith is like the Fresh Prince.
He is the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're coming out. Now they're coming out
Right.
with that remake, right? So, and he's an executive producer.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be extremely important for him to be like, to go up to the actor and be like, hey, this is who I was as like this person. I want you to embody this person.
Yes.
How is that going to translate?
Well, see, like from the preview, I've only seen preview, but it looks a lot more drama intensive than lighthearted. Because it's kind of lighthearted with hardship moments.
Yeah. But this one's drama with focus. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
So
it's weird.
I don't know if you guys have seen like All American. Did
you just call me?
Yep.
All American.
All American is essentially like it's like a high school drama that's revolved around a kid that is in a high school All American that's trying to get recruited for high school or for college. And so he goes through like all these different things, and he tries to be a hero to like uplift his community and this and that. And you begin to see all these different things. But I see people talk about this new reboot. Fresh Prince is essentially a reboot of All American.
Yeah.
For Paramount Plus. And it's like, all right, cool. Like,
personally, I blame Coop for all the.
For who?
I mean, hey,
you blame who?
Hey, that's
my boy.
That's a big deep dive.
Yo, what up,
It's All American. That's a huge
the dude's
deep
best
dive.
friend.
Who's Coop?
She just wanted to be in the streets, you know. Like she wanted to live that.
She's for the
life.
streets.
So
I
she's
feel
for
that.
the streets.
No, she's
that.
gangster as fuck though. She'll smack you.
Hashtag true
Hey,
chains.
she'll clap you, bro. She'll clap you.
4
real quick.
bracelets.
4 bracelets, 2 chains.
Hey, you might not be living after you see Coop, bro.
I ain't trying to cross. I'm trying to find out who not to do
Nah,
cross.
don't mess with Coop. Dude. Yeah, shit.
All right, I guess to close off, Jose,
Yes.
what is the most beautiful place you've been?
Ooh.
And like, I guess with this question, not what you think beautiful as in what most people would agree with, but to you personally, what's the most beautiful place you've been?
That's a tough question.
Simply, so in Mexico, where my parents are from,
Yeah.
I used to visit a lot when I was a kid, and that was actually like an oasis for me because we would go there regularly when I was a kid, and over there we wouldn't have cell service.
Yeah.
So it was literally like
To just kind of live in the moment.
Yeah, you step back in time, and it was like really rugged. It was like, hey, you got to wake up, you got to go take care of like the cows, you got to go up this like mountainside, and you have to like take care of the cows, and then you got to come back down and take care of like this, and this, and you're like working all day, and it's like the most rugged work you could think of, and it's like literally ranching, like the idea of ranching. That's
But
what
like
it is.
legit ranching. Yeah.
And like you're also stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And so like you're essentially leaving your phone away. And so I was gone for like 3 weeks, almost every single year.
Yeah.
So it was like, in a way it was liberating, and in a way it was like really beautiful because I connected with so many other things. I had such a greater appreciation for like nature and for like the animals and all the people around me, because I guess that's where I started to flourish as like a quote unquote extrovert, because then you had no other choice but to talk to other people rather than, hey, let me text all my friends from all the way in the United States.
Right, because you literally couldn't.
Yeah.
You had to interact with the people around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like at that point I wasn't like the most fluent Spanish speaker.
Yeah.
But
Same.
like true. But like you were still trying to continue to convey the conversation that you wanted to continue to lead.
Yeah.
So you were like, I'm gonna make this conversation work however I want to make it work. And they understood it. And so they were like, oh, this guy like has something to say and we want to listen.
Right.
So it was really interesting. And I think that was probably the most beautiful thing for me.
What about you, Kobe?
This is a hard question because I feel like I don't have an answer.
Just say Japan.
Just say Japan.
No, I mean like it's because like I'm a city person. So like
I mean, there's obviously no wrong answer.
I mean,
No, like-
Chirac.
Chirac, Southside.
Chirac.
well, like I've seen a ton of nature places I've gone. When we even go on our trips, like in the U.S.
Yeah.
like we go hiking, we go light hiking.
Light
hiking.
No, what are you talking about? We're going up mountains.
There was that time.
Jose, were
Mike
you
and I
never
fucked
complaining
up.
with me, Jose? We were both complaining.
Yeah.
What are you talking
were
about?
there.
We were up Mount Everest at one time.
Okay.
No, you don't remember?
All right.
I don't know
Just
who-
casually out my.
I don't know who we is, but
There was a time Mike and I accidentally went on a 4-hour hike. Like there was snow up there.
Oh,
bro, it was May and there was snow there.
I remember when we went to
there was
Austin.
snow in Chicago in May. That doesn't mean nothing.
When we went to Austin, we did a hike. It was probably like
Oh, that was a weak ass hike.
like a mile and a half, and Kobe and I were in the back just complaining the whole entire time.
And that was weak as fuck.
We were like, bro, we did not come all the way over here
We did not
to
sign
come
up for
up
this.
a hill.
I
Yeah.
thought it, but you started it, and I agreed right away.
hey, like I said,
Yeah. And
it was
I'm
weak.
not the worst person in the world, but I
think-
can be.
I think I respect that you guys hated that hike because I also didn't like it because there was no point to it.
Nothing came up to it. It
Yeah.
was like,
Like
well, there's some more houses up here.
right, like the 4-hour hike that Mike and I accidentally went on. Like it was worth it when we got to the top because like there was like a lake at the top and it was just snow capped and it was really nice to look at, So like we had an actual destination that was nice.
Maybe-
That hike that we went in Austin, no.
Maybe
Trash.
Maybe we went somewhere and then like we went early enough where we can see a sunrise or something.
Right.
But like
But yeah, we also that night, based on the events of that night, there was no way we were waking up early in the morning.
True.
Because like I woke up early in the morning and I looked at Mike and Mike was like dead.
Oh yeah, Mike's the first person to be dead in the morning.
But like he also wakes up early, which is the most confusing thing because like I'll wake up early and I'm like ready to go.
are you trying to say I don't wake up early?
You don't.
Yes.
You don't
Literally,
at all.
you don't.
I do. I
You'll-
wake up
you'll
at
wake
6
up-
a.m. for work.
But yet you wake up early.
But I
and
start at 8.
And then you
You are not
Go back to
ready.
sleep.
Yeah, but you're not like
I'm on
physically.
vacation.
You're not
okay?
meant to. You'll be physically awake, but
you're
he's
not
not
mentally awake.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I'm not meant to wait till like 6 p.m.
Exactly.
There you
Exactly.
So I guess Kobe, do you have a clear cut answer?
A clear cut answer. I'll think about it, but I don't have an answer at this point. Let me think about it.
Okay. Trado, you want to
It
go?
was dope. Like I've been
yeah.
to those places. But.
I have a couple places in mind. I
World
have
traveler.
3. One of them was so we went cave diving in Iowa. That was
Shit,
really
all right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
In a sense where it just the payoff was beautiful because you go on this hike, right, and it's like 95 degrees outside, you're sweating, it's fucking horrible.
Right.
But then you get to the top and then you go in this cave and it's like, dude, drops from 95 to like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And if you know me, you know I love AC. Like, dude, that's the best natural
AC
AC,
hit hard
I've
as
ever
fuck.
fucking hit. Yeah. So that was really beautiful and just the scenery and shit. Second place, I think, just beautiful in the sense of just being in a space where like everyone around you is there for the same reason. We went to New York and saw Chance the Rapper.
Ooh. Okay.
Dude, just being around a million like Chance the Rapper fans and being front row was like beautiful, you know?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Trado.
It was really cool. And
And
then
I know you've talked about that too, where like, because you're like in line waiting for like a concert or something, and you could talk to somebody else, and they have similar experiences to you.
And it's awesome.
Is that when you went Chance's dad or not?
No, that was here in Chicago. That's,
that was the
that was when we saw
the concert movie.
the concert movie,
okay.
yeah. And we're hanging out.
See, this guy lives an extraordinary life, and he's like downplaying it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I only met Chance's dad that one time, and he actually remembered who I was.
Right.
It was
yeah,
like-
like the day after he remembered.
And I
you.
also
Yeah.
dove in caves, you know, and like
It's
I've
just
only,
like you
I did
gotta-
all this shit.
Yeah,
You gotta like
He just be
do it.
vibing, man.
Yeah,
You
Like,
just
get off
gotta
his
do it
vibe.
without. It's like you gotta live your life without posting it
He's just
and
vibing.
flex. You know, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, dude, like cave diving's cool as fuck. But if you see me, you would never realize that. Like,
It's
you know.
It's like that thing where people are like, oh, you know, people who pretend to be rich are always flexing their money, but people who are actually rich,
You don't.
they
You
don't.
can't tell.
They
Yeah,
wear
you
a
don't even
hoodie
know
and-
that they're rich.
I will
Yeah.
say, if you see me, you will correctly assume I don't go cave diving. that's correct.
if you see me, you
Fair.
could correctly assume that I am not rich.
I would assume that you don't go kayaking either. Just put it out there.
You can assume a lot of things about water when you see me.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, water? Nah. He already ashy.
Wow.
Where did Ashley come in? I get
whoa.
lotion.
Yeah,
Yo.
you've taken his lotion before.
That's
Yeah.
true. I need that lotion.
On record, he's literally
Yo,
said,
Renee is notorious for taking
I
pictures.
Yeah, I
keep-
have.
yes.
Yeah.
I keep lotion in my car ready.
I go out of my way where I think I've said this before.
Wow.
If I'm on a trip that I know Kobe's on, I won't bring lotion because I know Kobe has lotion.
And he's right every
honestly,
time.
it fucked
And
up.
I need that lotion.
Every time.
Hey, but he got that good lotion though.
He got that good like
A-
coconut
A1
lotion.
Coconut,
A1
yeah,
lotion.
coconut butter.
A1 lotion. This
That
lotion
co-
went to a
that-
D1
That
school.
cocoa butter lotion, you know.
That
Hey,
cocoa butter.
Oh,
Why?
smooth, bro.
There's a reason why people know cocoa butter.
It's like good stuff.
To close off my answer to the question, it's not necessarily a place, and I feel like
NIU.
As yes,
Okay.
as I go.
Go dogs.
That's
Go
wrong.
dogs.
That's just wrong.
Roll dogs, baby.
Oh,
care
was
what your
that
point is.
dormitories or
residence
down
hall.
with the D?
Hey,
is it
down with the D word, baby. Down with the D word.
It's residence halls, right? Right? That's what it's called. What is she
Dorms.
called?
Residence halls.
Okay.
She wanted to get away from the dorm.
They were dorms, but that's,
wanted to call
that's
them
another
residence
story.
halls.
That's another story. So.
No,
What the fuck
so
you guys talking about?
I think for me, it's been, and I feel like this will change in the future because I do want to go like to the other side of the fucking
Of the railroad tracks?
Atlantic Ocean. So like Europe.
That too.
Essentially.
I want to go to Europe too.
Yeah.
Same.
And like obviously people have lived there in recorded history longer than they have in the United States. So like one of Joe Rogan's like older jokes was like, oh, you know, people wrote the Declaration of Independence, and people who wrote that would look at it if they were alive today, they'd be like, oh, you guys didn't write new shit. Like you didn't write any new stuff. We wrote that when we had to travel by fucking horses to talk to other people.
We wrote that, and
you
we were
guys are-
still
Yeah,
adding
yeah,
stuff.
and you guys think this is a good idea still? You can communicate with anybody in the world.
At any
like
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we had to wait weeks
Right.
for me to hear from someone just to say yes.
Exactly.
Imagine you guys
And,
actually
like,
kept this
yeah,
declaration of
and you guys
independence.
fucking kept this. You didn't fucking replace
just
it.
a fucking-
You're fucking idiots.
And like in like the politician's head is like these are the most respected people. They were like
Right.
ahead of their time, this and that.
Yeah.
and,
They
and
were
like
not ahead of
and
their
like for
time.
us, they're
There
like
were other time. For
Right,
yeah,
sure.
like,
yeah. And like for us, you're looking at it and they're like, we've already passed
Yeah,
a
like,
lot of the stuff
the-
that we've already said.
And
the
some of it's like
fucking-
common sense.
Yeah.
Like,
The-
yeah.
the
Why
US
would you do that?
Yeah.
the U.S. Constitution and like the Declaration of Independence, like, oh yeah, this is great if you're a white male person. If you're a
Yeah.
female or if you're a person of color, you're
not a
fucked.
white man.
Good.
Good. Just like I don't see the
Good
issue.
luck.
They'll be like, I don't see the issue.
Anyone
Like,
anyone
what's
in this
wrong?
podcast, good luck.
Good luck.
Good
Yeah.
luck surviving in the
yeah.
United States at this
Yeah.
point.
And so for
You-
me,
you got it.
the places that I find the most beautiful, to go to the original question, is places that have been around for a long time. So we talked about it a bit before the podcast started, but the time that Trader and I went to Boston,
Yeah.
like I really enjoyed it because Boston has been there for a long
How you
time.
gonna
yeah.
just, how you
Hey,
gonna
we
say
did
that
this
when
trail.
Boston was like the location of
Right,
what you were
but-
going? What like that's
but
where that
it-
contradicts your thing.
It's been there for. It's one of the longest standing places in the United States.
I watched a YouTube video, and then they asked the
I
person,
have also watched.
Really?
I've seen a
videos.
couple YouTube videos.
and then someone was like, they asked a college student, when was the Declaration of Independence written? And they said 1954.
No, it was like 1776.
No, but they said 1954. So like,
Right.
people don't know what's some
Yeah.
people.
And
That's an
that's-
extreme example.
that's pretty
but
bad.
some people don't know what's going
And that's
on.
kind of my point. Like one of the
Don't ask
primary,
me that question.
just one of the
please don't.
primary reasons why I liked
That's what
Boston
4th
so
of July
much
is a lot about.
was that it was so old.
1776.
yeah, it was dope as fuck. Like
And
even
I hate history.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Fake news.
It was like it was just old. Like there was
Yeah, it was
parts
cool.
of Boston that were still like classic, I guess, from the original settlers. You know, like we saw the
Big ass boat. Remember
the
that
boat that was still in the marine, and like we walked.
I saw that.
The trail that had like a special bricked path road.
Yeah, it's called the Freedom Trove.
The Freedom
if you ever
Trail
go to Boston,
that's been
check that
there
out.
since almost the beginning of the United States.
And it's literally a trail that goes throughout the
And-
city, showing you places that have been intact since
Yeah.
1776.
That's cool.
Paul Revere's house. That was the place that I could remember.
That place was dope as
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah.
And the same thing when we went to Montreal, where like Montreal has been there, especially when we walked around old Montreal, where it was like a brick path road, and we could see like all these old churches that have been there for like 300 years.
Yeah.
Like seeing that
That
kind of
was in
stuff.
downtown too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Seeing that kind of stuff to me is the most beautiful because it's literally been there for multiple
Do you
generations.
remember the witch cemetery?
Yeah,
that we
the
visited?
fucking where they would crucify people
Yeah.
for being witches.
And it's like, dude, these stones are like, yeah,
They hurt.
Yeah, like
They're
you
crazy.
would look at the dates on it, and it would be like 17 whatever, you know.
And it's like, damn, dude, what if
And-
she just had a fucking?
Yeah, like she just got lucky, you
Yeah.
know. Like she bet 17 when she was playing roulette, and 17 came up.
Imagine her playing like Irish. What is
Then,
it?
like,
Irish poker.
if you don't drown,
Riding
you're a
the bus.
witch.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's a lose-lose situation.
Right.
Yeah, what
if
the
you
hell?
drown, you were actually we fucked up.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
dude.
you survive, you're a witch.
Wow.
So when they actually created the bus, and this person is riding the bus, and they go,
Yeah.
and they
if
go
you don't
all
get
the-
alcohol poisoning,
yeah,
you're
they-
not a witch.
They
Yeah.
go all the way through on one go, and they're like, witch, yep,
Burn at the
There's
stake.
no way.
Yeah.
There
Witch
is
as fuck.
No
So
way.
to me, like the older something is, the more beautiful it is because it's just withstood the
The
test
weathers of time.
Yeah. So to me, the ultimate goal would be like to see like the Colosseum in Rome, you know,
What about the pyramids in Egypt?
or the pyramids in Egypt.
when you went
stuff
to
like that.
when you went to Mexico, like Playa, did you go to like Chichen Itza and all that?
Yeah, and
You did?
like to see those
That's cool as
things and
fuck.
like how they built shit where like
Oh, there are
you could
pyramids there too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
where like you could stand at the base of the pyramid and clap, and you could hear the echo from the top of the pyramid.
You could make her clap.
You can make that ass clap
From the top to dude, that's
Can
crazy.
you imagine?
from
It's like, yeah, you could be a stripper, but have
from
you
the
ever
top
danced on a pyramid?
to the bottom.
That's crazy.
Make that ass clap.
Is it-
No, so
No, but it's
you
pretty
can
cool. Yeah,
stand
yeah.
at the bottom of the pyramid.
there's a pole up there.
There's
Sorry.
like a specific point where you could stand, and if you clapped, you could hear it at the top of the pyramid, just because of the way that they
Yeah.
built
Physics.
it. Yeah, like physics.
That's pretty cool.
Physics that I'm not qualified to talk about.
Yeah.
But shit like that to me is the most beautiful.
So real
dope.
quick, we went to this. we're driving to St. Louis and we stopped at this.
Real quick, we went to the strip club and this
No,
girl
no,
made
no,
a clap.
no, we're at this.
And that
Indian,
clap I heard.
Hey,
no, we were in
Little
Missouri.
I
Last
heard this
X.
clap from miles away.
Little Last
okay.
Snacks had this like banger.
Yeah.
And
Fucking Drake was playing and it was
Forget it.
over.
I don't even want to say it.
No.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so we're at the strip club. No, we were in Missouri, and we stopped at this hike, and then we realized it was an old Indian burial ground from when the people were moving
Trail tours?
west. So
Yeah.
like all these Indian and all these tribes were being conquered or whatever. So we go and like we're going up these mounds, which we didn't know were sacred Indian burial mounds.
Oh, so you're just fucking
We
fucking
were
around
fucking
on
shit
them?
up, yeah. And it was like afterwards we saw like, hey,
Hey, don't fuck this
specifically
up.
don't
Yeah.
stand on this mound because it's
Yeah.
like sacred.
And there you are standing on it.
Yeah, but it's crazy because like those mounds are still intact, and then it shows you like certain feet down, like it was like 2007 when they kept digging, and they still found like artifacts and shit from. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
well, he stood on the mound because there was a massive like fence, or there was a massive sign in the middle of
Do
the
not
mound.
touch.
It was like "Do not touch," and he couldn't see it, so he
had
just
to
kept
go
on
up
like
to it.
walking closer.
I
And he
think
was
he
like,
get closer.
I can't read that.
I thought he
at
was
all."
like, bet.
Right?
He kept on like reading it. He was like,
Who's
I
gonna
just
stop me?
can't see that at all.
As far as people concerned, bet has only existed for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That word bet has only existed.
Yeah, you can't get in trouble
Let
if
me,
you
let
say
me
bet.
blow your mind real quick. Bet was around when we were in college, and that was like 6 years
You
ago.
mean when
Hey.
we were
So it was lit.
High school.
But how many times have you used that?
0.
No.
I refuse.
You-
That's a
used
lie.
lit.
That's
You
a lie.
used lit.
I have literal photo evidence of you using
All
the
right.
you have
word lit.
photo evidence? Well, you
Photo
have
evidence? How do you
subtitles?
Yeah.
It's just his
You have
lips, like,
subtitles
or
in the
the-
picture?
I have video
Lit.
and photo evidence of Renee saying lit.
I mean, I guess we could discuss that.
And it's
in a-
dated 1776.
1738.
Yeah. So,
Wait, where is the 17th? No.
Oh, we
okay.
still have
actually,
it.
yeah, that would have been.
We could take a shot right now.
No, we can't.
Yeah, so,
Please.
So-
anyway, it seems like
I
it's
guess
ending.
to close out.
Yeah.
Thank you for fucking with us. I
Oh,
hope
Renee's closing out every episode this year.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I hope you took
okay.
something away from our conversations. Maybe you got some introspective thoughts about yourself, or maybe you're like, wow, These guys are
idiots.
fucking stupid.
Like, how are these guys friends? And
That's
also, how
more
can
accurate.
I keep on listening
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
through to like this point?
This is some dumbass shit.
It's like these guys
That's
went
great.
from
Hey,
talking about the Declaration to talking about, yo, I was standing on this sacred mound.
So,
to clapping cheeks in a fucking
Hey,
Chichen
hey,
Itza.
if,
but those
I've heard
claps-
worse conversations, so this is a pretty good one.
if you think Doja Cat is hot, give a thumbs up. If you think Doja Cat is not hot,
you're asking for the
dislike this
wrong
video on
ratio.
YouTube.
Okay, don't
No,
dislike
don't say
it.
that. Just say still
Just
like
comment.
it.
Just comment down below on a rank of 1 to 10 what you think Doja Cat is. And this is also excluding the video of her being an alien.
Yeah, I would
because,
say she's
like,
an alien.
No,
like
you gotta include
that
that.
was
It's also excluding Mike. You know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not talking about you.
So
Also,
if,
Jose, if you're listening to this at the gym, don't forget to wipe down the fucking.
Yeah, wipe down the fucking
I-
wipe
equipment,
down,
bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
I-
2022.
Omicron.
Wipe down the equipment, man.
Omicron, Delta, freaking.
You on an airplane or something?
I could
Southwest,
I could
Frontier.
do beta. I could do alpha,
Fucking
beta,
Spirit.
omega, all
Omega.
yeah, all of them.
I'm
I'll
the
take them
alpha
all
and the
on, you
omega.
know. But no, for real.
let me get serious for a second.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't even know where I was going.
We
with
got
it, but
distracted.
Just Doja Cat, thumbs up. Doja Cat, not attractive, thumbs down.
Just comment it down below. Don't just thumbs up the video, subscribe, and like the video.
There you go.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you
Like,
gotta do.
Comment, subscribe. That's all you got. That's
That's
how you gotta push this video.
yeah,
I know your name was-
Trader Weather Radio.
What's your name, Renee?
TWAR, as some people refer to it as.
Oh.
Please stop. It's Trader Without Radio. It's a
No.
fucking acronym. Get it right.
Nah.
We'll see you next week.
Don't
see
drop
you,
your
man.
weights.
Don't drop your weights.
On your
Don't
feet.
slime that shit.
Yep.